Hello everybody, this is Gissy of YouTube, and yes, this is another type of thing of just me talking into the microphone. I kind of feel that I want to turn this type of thing into a podcast since really, my internet connection is kind of shit. Laptops are not great for streaming. You could put two and two together. And when I mean streaming, I mean live streaming. They're not exactly great for live streaming. At least with the type of luck that I have. But I'll save that for a more live stream focused episode? I don't know. But yeah, for now we'll save that type of topic for another time. Like for now I just want to talk about something that has been on my mind for the past couple of days now. Maybe a month or so, but I say the past couple of days it's kind of active. And I am kind of talking about the idea of exploring outside of the core web. Some of you may heard about it, and some of you may not. But you might ask yourself, what the fuck is the core web? Well, to put it in simple terms, it's the sites that we go to on the daily. You go onto YouTube, that's part of the core web. You go onto Instagram, that's part of the core web. Twitter, do I even need to bloody say it? I guess to put it in other simple terms, this is where the mainstream websites are. And while they can be useful if you want to contact friends and or family, because that's where they are, the stuff that is plastered on the core web should not be your only option. Mind you, I'm only talking about general websites, as I find something like Discord to be a different beast altogether. But yeah, I wouldn't exactly recommend sticking to the stuff that is on the core web, especially with sites like Twitter utterly falling apart. Now you might say, but those are the only sites that exist anymore. Well, that's actually wrong, in a way. I guess to put it into the way you could understand, those are the only sites that are advertised to us anymore. People forget that you can't just look around in the web and find shit. I recommend going on sites like Neocities or Nekoweb, as you'll find a lot more personal sites, as well as sites related to one's hyperfixation. You could also make your own personal site from those two as well. But I'm pretty sure you also might say, I want a site that I connect with friends, especially outside of Discord. Well, I guess you could still stick with some of the core web while still looking on Neocities, but there's other options. And those few options are: number 1, find/make a forum. I know that online forums were on the dying side for a while, but given the wake of everything falling apart, I could see them having a comeback. But I know some of them can be hard to find, especially if you have a specific interest in mind, or just want a public hub for your community. This is why I also said make a forum and not just finding them. I know that Proboards and Forumotion still gives folks the ability to make a forum, so I don't see why you can't. Number 2, actually explore for other options. Oh my fucking gosh. I don't mean to sound too hyperbolic, but I think the core issue with folks who only stick with the core web, or even just viewing things in this garbage heap, is the fact that they kind of grew complacent in not exploring. And while I get it, the core web is where the familiar folks are at, I'd say it's best to at least explore just a little bit. And look, I am not saying this as some holier-than-thou fuckwit. I do have this core issue as well. But that is why I'm saying this for myself, as I am for all of you. Now, I know some of you might say, well, can I at least have some suggestions? Just sure. Maybe I'll make it easier for the slightly lazy. But the suggestions are Dreamwidth, Listography, WeVidi, Multiverse.Plus, and status.cafe. Links to those sites will be in the description down below. But yeah, hopefully these are to your liking, but if not, then here's the next option. Number 3, make a social network using ucode.org. Yeah, you thought I was gonna say Mastodon? You thought wrong! Hyperbolic statement aside, while making your own instance on Mastodon has the same principle as Uco, I personally don't think it's for everyone. You might have better luck finding an instance you vibe with than making your own. But this is why I mentioned making a social network using Yuko. It uses more of the what you see is what you get technology, I think, so it's a little bit more user-friendly. I mean, hell, I've seen some kids make their own social networks with it, so why shouldn't we? And of course, the unofficial fourth suggestion is just making your website on Nekoweb and Neocities. Yeah, they're not social medias, but at least with Neocities, you could comment on some people's sites. It has some social networking aspect to it. But even then, you could also just make a guest book for people to comment on. But yes, those are the suggestions. Now, there are a couple of things that I do want to make clear. A, I am not suggesting you to go on the deep web/the dark web. Because, let me tell you, there are too many crazy/Florida men running those sites on that part of the internet. I am saying is that there are other parts of the surface web that is not just the core web. The indie web, as some folks like to call it, is available for browsers like Firefox. And also Google Chrome as well, that's available on that browser too. But yeah, I want y'all to explore, but I also want y'all to be safe. And on the subject of being safe, like 8.1, probably provide yourself with an antivirus program or an anti-malware program because, you know, there are malicious fox out there that will ruin everything. So that's another thing that you need to do. Just get yourself an antivirus/anti-malware program. I recommend Malwarebytes. But yeah, on to B, which is, well, I'm not really telling you to abandon the core websites either, especially if you don't want to. Again, I understand wanting to stay on sites like Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. What I am saying is that you can have other options, especially if there are very stressful atmosphere on those sites. Like I may use sites like YouTube, Twitter, and Tumblr, but sometimes I just need other places in the web to cool myself down, you know? And that's it. Whether you make your site on Neocities or Nekoweb, making your own forum/Yuko social network, or if you're just finding sites outside of the core web in general, I hope that what I said today will be enlightening. And for those that just want to create their own space, I especially recommend making their own websites. I know that learning HTML and CSS is rather daunting. Believe me, I should know. The launch date for the Phantom Realm website was a disaster! Which is why I am going to provide links to the needed sources that I've used for making a site, as well as something that's a little bit more easier for people to use. And believe me, some of the things really did help me out. But yeah, I hope that you guys enjoy me rambling on about this, and yeah, that is that. This is Gissy of YouTube signing out. Goodbye!